Hello, my name is Lieutenant Halterman. This is an example self-escort strike route brief for VT-86. Today we're going to be call sign Rocket 503. I will be the instructor. You will be the student. Technical call sign will be Rage 11. We'll be doing an SES4 today. Rocket 504 is going to be technical call sign Eagle 11. I will also be the instructor, and you will be the student, also doing an SES4. Mission objective. The mission objective today is to blow up a frigate that has terrorists on board. Specific mission objectives are bombs on time on target and no blue losses. Our scenario today is that there is a island in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico that has some terrorists known to be on it. They're about to evacuate the island before we invade, and they're boarding this frigate. And our job is to blow it up before it leaves the island. Fuel today, Joker is 2.8, Bingo is 2.0, plain fuel on deck is 1.6. Questions of the day are standard. DOR and training timeout are in effect. Do you have any questions on admin? TAC admin. Bullseye is the MPA TACAN call sign Vegas. Enemy order of battle. The enemy is known to have MiG-29s on strip alert near the push point. MiG-29s capping just south of the IP. There's also a located SA-2 20 miles northeast of our target today. Friendly order of battle. We are going to be a section of F-18Fs. We are coming off of the boat, which is to the west of the route. We have an E-2 call sign Snapper to the northwest of our push point, and we'll also have a section of Growlers call sign Tron 15 miles in trail behind us on the route. Declarations are going to be standard today. Setup, unlimited target aspect, 30 nautical miles, 8 to 24,000 foot block. The fighter is going to be at 16,000 feet, 0.5 Mach at or above Joker. Our radar, we're going to have 80 nautical miles, AZ full. Our cursor's at 30 nautical miles. L-strobe in the detent, data block on. Our GPS is going to be set up on deck using whichever route is appropriate. And our loadout is going to be 2 Fox 3s, 2 Fox 1s, 4 Fox 2s, and we're going to have 1 GBU-12 and 1 GBU-38 on board as well. Any questions on TAC admin? Spins are going to be standard from 1v1s. Any questions on spins? Going to air to ground. Our primary mission today is an air-to-ground mission. For route overview, we're going to be starting off to the west-northwest of the target. We're going to be at 16,000 feet, 0.5 Mach. Going to be heading 180. Going to be hitting the pre-IP, and then we're going to do a tack turn 90 degrees to the left, hitting 090. Once we hit our IP, still going to be at 16,000 feet, 0.5 Mach. Take a 45-degree turn to the left and hit the target and get our way out of there. Our air-to-ground timeline, 2 minutes prior to our push point, we'll go ahead and call COMEX. That's when the whole game is going to begin, and you'll start to get AIC information. At the push point, we'll go ahead and call pushing and hack the clock, mark on top. From the IP, we'll go ahead and call IP inbound, or if we end up skipping the IP, we'll call target direct, if applicable. And then either from the IP or from wherever we're at, 13 miles from the target when we are target direct, we will have our no earlier than, no later than times that, according to your own pre-planning, you will brief at this time. 5 nautical miles we'll call captured if we see the target either visually or with our sensors. At 3 nautical miles we'll call pickle. 1.5 miles lasers on, and then once we're marking on top of the target we'll call splash, lasers off, and then we'll turn left, hard as pos, and then we'll call Miller time to let everyone listening know that we are weapons delivery complete. And then we'll be turning to 270, generally heading west. Our run-in heading, as I already said, is going to be about 045, and then we have a attack heading that we must, restriction that we must meet, plus or minus 30 degrees of that. Our TOT window is plus or minus 30 seconds of our TOT. Our TOT today is 10 plus 08. For target attack today, in order to have a valid drop, we need to be at 16,000 feet at or above 0.5 Mach, between 0.5 and 0.6 specifically, and wings level. For target AC, this is the island in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. As you can see, we're going to be hitting the southwestern corner of the island. So generally, big picture in the 20-mile scale here, we're looking for the southwestern corner. Once we start getting a little closer in that southwestern corner, you can break out a couple of different areas of land that kind of jut out a little bit. Our false target is going to be further to the south, but our more developed area where you can start to break out a harbor, some artificial straight lines, is our actual target area. Okay, here again is the false target down here. You can see one of the piers kind of jutting out, another pier facility. Our actual pier is going to be the furthest one to the southwest, so we can use the inner channel here to kind of line us up going from there. Also, one of the other larger distinguishing features we can break out here is the stadium here, and if we go due southwest of the stadium, we're going to see our pier as well. If we end up going way past where the developed land is, obviously we've gone too far, and at the end of the day, the main limiting feature is simply going to be the coast, because we know that our pier facility is just off of the coast, so anything inside of the coast, and we've missed that. Our actual target is this frigate here. Again, we're aiming for the center mass of the frigate. It should be, the intelligence tells us it's the only ship that is in the vicinity, and it's the only one that's going to be parked on the inside of this pier facility here. Any questions on the DIMPI or target AC? Any questions on air to ground? Okay, TAC conduct. Air to air is just a contingency today, but we have to be prepared. So once we mark on top of the push point, we will push and hack our clock, and we will start getting information from Grit Rock. So they will start off giving us that information in broadcast control anchored to bullseye. If there are any groups out there, we will determine if they are a factor or not on the route. If it appears that they are a factor on the route, we will commit and we will target them. But if it appears that we can go away from them, then we will use geometry to lean away from them. We can lean off of the route to either the west or the south end of the route to avoid groups that might not be a factor. But if a group does meet our commit criteria, which today is going to be no lower than 30 nautical miles and less than or equal to 60 target aspect, we'll commit. So Grit Rock Rage 1-1, commit. Then they will label and name the group and transition to tactical control in bullseye format and give us a picture. So in this case, Rage 1-1 commit. Grit Rock will come back and say, Rage 1-1 Grit Rock, single group, Vegas 170, 65, cap, medium. And then later on they update that, and we hear single group Vegas 173, 65, track west, medium. We will go ahead and target that group because they are a factor on the route. We will turn into the group, get their bogey bearing on the scope, correlate with a declaration, with a BRA and a declaration call, and then lock them up and select AIM 54. Then at 30 miles, if there are any groups no later than 30 nautical miles and inside a 60 target aspect, they have then met our commit criteria, and we will commit. Rage 1-1, commit. Grit Rock will come back and transition to tactical control in bullseye format. If the groups seem like they are a threat on the route, then we'll go ahead and target them. So if we hear Grit Rock call out a group, Rage 1-1 Grit Rock, single group Vegas 175, 65, track west, medium, then they are going to be a factor on the route. So Rage 1-1 target, single group. From here, we will turn into the group, get the bogey bearing on the scope, make a BRA call, get a declaration. Once we're correlated, we'll lock them up and select AIM 54 and go into our game plan. Outside of 20 nautical miles, it is going to be a standard 1v1 game plan. The difference being that once we hit 20 miles and we decide to crank or not crank based on shooting the Fox 3, if we crank, our crank priorities are going to be away from any untargeted groups and then towards the black line and then cold. Continuing on, at 20 miles, we will press with our game plan. select aim 7. Continuing, again, our offset game plan is going to be standard per 1v1s. Maneuvering bogey game plan is also going to be standard per 1v1s. At 50 nautical miles, this is the earliest we can climb or descend, either with or without the contact on the scope. And we'll continue altitude analysis. 12 or 10 nautical miles, the timeline splits. We will execute our lead term, which is standard. With a hostile declaration and valid criteria, we'll shoot the Fox 1. Fast and slow bandits will be handled standard as 1v1s, per 1v1s. Timeout calls are also going to be standard from 2VX, and then the same abort criteria from 2VX apply here for the ingress for the self-escort strike route. Abort is an option on the ingress, but there is no abort option on the egress. At 8 and 10 nautical miles, we will go for our displacement turn and counter turn, which are standard. Select aim 9 and begin our arrow calls. At 6 nautical miles, we'll make our counter turn and merge decision. If we're on the egress, if we are on the ingress, this is going to be standard. If we are on the egress, we will fight our best 1v1 game plan off of the egress, and we will not intentionally force a merge if we don't have to. In either case, if we run the counter turn, counter turns are going to be standard through the rear quarter, Fox 2. On the ingress, we do not expect any VIDs. We will not accept a VID, but on the egress, if there is a VID situation, then that will be handled as standard. Approaching a merge, if we do decide to merge, merge rules will be standard from 1v1s. Through the decision to execute post-merge maneuvers. Everything will be the same from 1v1s, except that now, in addition to executing post-merge maneuvers except for safety of flight, now additionally, if we are inside of 10 miles from the target, we will also blow through in that case. But otherwise, except for safety of flight or being inside of 10 nautical miles, we will turn post-merge with any bandit. If we do blow through, we'll go ahead and execute short-range radar, which is standard from 1v1s, and then go ahead, update the bogey bearing at our 6, put him at our 6 o'clock, keep him there, and continue to get picture calls from Grit Rock to help put him at our 6 o'clock. Egress mech, off of target is going to be a left hardest pass, unload buster, set point 6, flow 270. Our game plan on the egress, if we see a target with 45 target aspect or less, we will assume that they are aware, and we will go ahead and execute our best 1v1 game plan from there. If the contact's target aspect is greater than 45 target aspect, then we will try to stiff arm him as long as possible, and then once it is safe to do so, we will go ahead and drop him off of our scope and drop the group itself. Any questions on TAC conduct? Contingencies. If we forget to hack today, if we're in a no-hack situation, we will note our distance, and we can use either 5 or 10 nautical miles as appropriate, add 1 or 2 minutes as applicable to our TOT, or to our elapsed time rather, and then hack the clock from there. Weather today, if the weather precludes us from using a laser-guided bomb, we'll go ahead and switch to the JDAM. For no-show, late show, it's going to be standard from 1v1s. Jamming, co-channel interference, as well as comm jamming and lost contact, also same as 1v1s. Rolex, today we have a backup TOT option, so if you assess approaching the IP that you are going to be outside of your TOT window, if you're going to be beyond your TOT window, so past 10 plus 3.8, then you can go ahead and request for a backup TOT. If you are inside of the IP or closer than 13 miles to the target, it's too late to request this. But if you're outside of 13 miles from the target or outside of the IP, then you can go ahead and let everyone know what the new TOT is by simply making a broadcast call, Ridge 11 new TOT 12 plus 08. Any questions on contingencies? Any questions overall? Okay. Again, we're going out there to do a self-escort strike. Our target is a frigate with terrorists on board, and we are going to walk in 7 minutes.